Hi guys, this is Kim. I am here today because I wanted to let you know it is Thursday and tomorrow, Friday, January 31st, is the big day that I've been counting down for. It is finally the day for Connect with Convene. I have been talking to you guys about Convene, what it is and what it's all about for the last several months. And as you guys know that I've been using it for Trailblazers, for Kim Bynum Consulting, and also for my cheer team. It's Landon Lions. We got our game days tonight. But tomorrow is all about Convene, and I've got my bud here, Matt Curran, to give you the deets on what is going on with Convene, what it is, what it's about. And he's actually coming down from, where are you coming down from? From North Carolina with his posse. He's bringing some of his posse down. And for those of you that know Carrie Walters, she's a Jacksonville, well, former Jacksonvillian, and she's coming down from Michigan. So we're going to have a great big party here in Jacksonville at Lion's Share. And you guys know Lion's Share because that's where Trailblazers has tons of their events and where we have lots of good stuff. So anyway, without further ado, I want to introduce you to Matt. I'm going to let him tell a little bit about himself, his bio, and all the stuff that he leaves out because he's modest. Then I'll throw that back in, all the stuff he forgets. But Matt, thank you for being here on my little impromptu Facebook Live or Zoom Live or whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that you're coming all the way down from North Carolina just to talk to my peeps, my tribe, and April's tribe too. I can't take credit for all that stuff. To talk to us about Convene. So tell us a little bit about yourself first, who you are, and then we can get into all the Convene stuff.
Okay. Well, first, Kim, thanks you and April and Grayson for having me down to Jacksonville from North Carolina. I'm really excited about it and bringing my peeps. Yes, I'm stopping in the morning, picking up my boy Eugene Brown, and we're driving down tomorrow. So we'll be getting there tomorrow. Yeah, so pretty excited about that. But yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina originally. I am a retired Marine. Part of the story is where I originally met Kim and how we linked back up on Facebook is we actually deployed together way back in 1999. Operation.
Oh, don't say the year. I was born close to that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Kim was 2 on a ship, but 1999 Operation Allied Force. So I was a pilot in the Marine Corps, and so we met because we were doing combat operations over there in Kosovo. Is really what ended up happening. And then we just linked back up on Facebook, and I saw that Kim's doing a lot of stuff with your tribe, your great people, Trailblazers, and Kim Bynum Consulting. And so, I'm in the same type stuff. I do a lot of consulting, but I have an application called Convene that anybody can take forth. And obviously I said, hey, Kim, you can use Convene, so why don't you use it? So I convinced Kim to take it and run with it. And you've been a great help on, just some of the changes, updates, and all that. So back to me, pilot. I live in Winston-Salem, North Carolina now. I have a wife, Tisha, been married coming up on 25 years. Here in May, I have 3 kids. Braden, who's just a recent college graduate working in Raleigh, North Carolina, that's where I'm from. And then daughter Megan at UNC Chapel Hill, and a daughter Lainey, who's a sophomore in high school. So again, my kids and all that family's the world to me. So that's really important. But so I spent 5 years, 8 months after I got out of the military. I was an air medical pilot. So I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. And when I mean the good, the bad, the ugly, I've seen, heartbreak, and I've seen successes too, where, we did a great job of getting people to the hospital and allowing them to live. That's another story. But I'm also a pilot for a NASCAR team, NASCAR Indy team now. I'm a pilot for Team Penske. And so basically I get to fly in and out of races and do some pretty cool stuff there, flying helicopters. So still do all that, but I do a lot of corporate training and a lot of teaching, and that was where it leads into Convene Community. So that's just my little simple life.
You in a nutshell. So I got to clarify a couple things. ICOMA was not doing combat operations in Kosovo. I was giving Marines a ride on my amphibious ship so that people like Matt could go do combat operations in Kosovo. I was, taking hot showers and sleeping in bed at night while he was out doing combat ops, not me. So I'll clarify that. So thank you, Matt, for your serious service while I was living it up on the amphib. And I know, okay, so the other thing too is I just got to get it out of the way because he's going to do it at some point during this recording. I'm getting all choked up. Go ahead and show us that championship ring from, your Indianapolis, what, I don't know what it is, but it's this blingy ring that all the men gush over that are in. Oh my God. Tell us what the ring is that you won,
Yeah,
that
so
your
if you
team
come to the
won.
event, that we're having this weekend, you can let you hold it, wear it. But this is the ring for Team Penske. I'm part of Team Penske, Roger Penske's helicopter pilot, but it's for winning the Indy 500 last year. So that's my Super Bowl ring, so to speak. So
Oh Lord.
I'll wear it this weekend, and so it's a.
So I promise you guys, I won't let him make you kiss the ring. That when sometimes I can get a little over boisterous or whatever. To put me in my place, I'll just put it out there and be like, you know what?
That's right. That's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's
So
fun.
all right, so we're having way too much fun here, and that's kind of what I do. But I want to give you the details, and we'll put them in the notes and stuff. But a lot of you guys we've talked to already about Convene, and we're going to get into the details because you're like, what are you guys talking about? But first of all, what I want to say is the event tomorrow, the event Friday, is going to be an opportunity for you to learn more about the platform, what it is, how people use it, because there's so many different ways that you can learn this you can use this web-based platform, whether you're, like Matt said, a large business, a small business, a business owner, an entrepreneur. A lot of coaches and small business people are using it, and you're going to find that people in Jacksonville are already up and on Convene using it to grow their business. And so I want to let Matt talk about what it is. But I also want to talk about the event on Friday night that's going to be at Lion Share, because it's also going to be an opportunity, like it always is, any event that April and I do. It's always about connecting. It's always about networking. You're going to, see some familiar faces, but you're going to see a lot of new faces, and the resources that we're putting together and the people that you're going to meet. You're not going to want to miss it. So even if you listen to this and you're like, I'm not sure if Convene is something that's going to be helpful for me and in my life and my business, still I want you to come, because you're going to meet some amazing, awesome people. And of course, like we always do, Blue Sage Cuisine is who's going to be catering our event. And I picked all my favorite yummy apps because Matt doesn't get to eat at Blue Sage very often. So I got to pick all the appetizers and all the yummies. So it's going to be the best of the best from Jasmine at Blue Sage Cuisine. So let's get into the heart and soul of it, Matt. Talk to me a little bit in big general overview picture, because I know that you and I have been working together since we kind of hooked back up after a million years apart from that first deployment, because we were both doing stuff, and you knew that I was coaching. You knew that I was, I was coaching a cheer team. I was consulting. I was, wearing a bunch of different hats when you approached me about Convene as potentially being something that could help me in my business. And right now, you and I are working together with some pretty big organizations, business to business, to use the Convene platform for decision making, for training, for large scale, training, military applications. So we're doing some really big stuff on the business to business side. Like I said before, kind of a big picture stuff. So I'm really super excited about bringing this resource to, to Jacksonville, to the small business person, to the entrepreneur, to, the individual coach, to help grow and connect. So if you could help kind of talk to me and talk to my peeps about that, and why you first approached me in what you saw the hat that I was wearing from there, and how Convene helps us.
Absolutely. So a long time ago, the big history of Convene, and I'll get into this more tomorrow night too, but the big history of Convene, it was all business to business, and it's based off of some of the background. It's based off how we train, how we do things in the military, So a lot of big businesses, Pacific Gas and Electric, Duke Energy, other big companies, a lot of first responders use Convene and have used Convene as their training platform, their learning management system. For me personally, though, as I would go out, and like you said too, some of the companies we're doing some contracting work with are using Convene. As I would go out and I speak about decision making and how we make decisions as humans and people and all that, it really became apparent to me over time is that people would come up to me after I would speak at a conference or wherever it was, and they would say, "Hey, Matt, can I talk to you?" And this is one of the things you know about me, Kim, is they would say, "Hey, can I talk to you about my marriage? Can I talk to you about parenting? Can I talk to you about relationships or coaching my team?" Or they would come up with whatever topic that they wanted to talk about. And because they would say, "I know you're talking to me about decision making as far as being a first responder, for example. But I also felt like you were talking to me about my marriage. I felt like you were talking to me about parenting." And people would draw their own conclusions. So over time, it was really weighing on me and weighing on my heart. I went back and got my master's degree in Christian counseling from Liberty University, and over time, I really was like, you know what? Convene can be so much more than just a large corporation using it as their training platform. It can be how you and I can learn how to parent, or you can use it, for example, with cheerleading. I use it with, I'm wearing my, soccer. So I can use it coaching soccer, because there's no end to how Convene can be used. But the point is that how we learn in life is through experiences. And it would be like us sitting at the table or sitting around the water cooler, so to speak, and saying, "Hey, Kim, if you were in this situation, how would you handle it?" Right. And so we've created a platform, called Convene Communities. And the communities is based off of allowing people to connect, collaborate, communicate, and also learn from one another. Right. So what might be your passion may not be my passion, but there's a lot of people out there with the same passion that you might have. And so with Convene, you can take that platform and you can go in any direction that you want. So are you somebody who runs a nonprofit? Because some people use it to run their nonprofits. Are you somebody who wants to sell content, right? And you can create courses and you can actually sell your content through Convene. Are you somebody who is coaching cheerleading, coaching soccer? All those different things are so important. But you can also just be an individual who's going through maybe a tough time. There's people that come into Convene and share experiences on their battles with depression, their battles with alcoholism, their battles with you name it. And they're just looking how to come into a platform anonymously, put themselves out there and allow people to give them feedback anonymously. And that's one of the most important things about it, is that you can do so much with it, but you can interact with people and you can connect with people. And like I said, there's so many different options. We could go on all day about how people could use it. The other thing is that I wanted to make it cheap, right? I wanted to, so many platforms out there are so cost prohibitive. It's too expensive for you to put something out there. And so what we've done with Convene is just make it, where anybody and everybody can take it and run with it, either free, either in a private way, which is real cheap, or if you want to sell your content, real cheap too. You won't find a platform that does as much as it does and allows you to do that much for the cost that you can do it. So
That's awesome. I know, so because I know when I first hopped on Convene, and you guys that know me and April, April is kind of like the techie one. She's the one with all the technology, and I'm just kind of the one that's like, yay, April, do all that, and I'll just stand up here and smile. But that's one of the things that was really cool about Convene is how you made it super user friendly and easy for anybody to kind of get into. But I wanted to go back to what you said about how it was really important for you to make the platform available to everybody so that it could be about shared experiences. So I want to just tell a story that I hope I'm not stealing Patty's thunder, but Patty Moeller, who's a great counselor in the area, and she'll be here on Friday at the event, at the Connect with Convene event. She actually, in her book, became a bestseller, right? Her book her brand new book that she just launched, Renew and Restore. You guys got to check that out.
She's speaking tomorrow night too.
She's gonna be a speaker. But she talked about the fact how, back in the good old days, or the olden days, for example, women had their sewing circles. We'd all sit around and they'd do their quilting, or they do their cross stitch, or I don't know what it's called then, needlepoint, and information and experiences would be shared from older generations to younger or back and forth and all that. And so we're kind of missing out the opportunity to have these shared experiences. And so for me, I was in the middle of creating courses for sales and for career transition. And I was looking at other platforms and had actually started putting some course content on other platforms, but it was a very one-way transaction, right? So I was able to put the course content out there, but not in a way that allowed there to be like discussions
Yeah.
among the students and interaction, between myself and the group and things. And so that's one of the things that I loved about it. And also on social media, it's hard to be anonymous. You can't, it's hard. I can't post something on Facebook without everybody knowing that it's me unless I have my fake account or whatever. And even then, eventually you get hacked or you get found out. So I love that part of it. And I've known you for a long time, Matt, so I know your heart is all about more of the people part of it than the money part of it, which is part of why we're still working together, because I'm the business strategist. So I'm like, we got to make the money. We got to make the money.
And I'm like,
But the money,
no, we got to help the people.
but the money allows you to help the people. So
Absolutely.
I think that's super exciting. We don't want to give away everything that we're going to be talking about on Friday at Convene, but at the Connect with Convene event. But like we said, so Friday night, 31st, 6 p.m. It'll probably go to 8, maybe not that long, and you don't have to stay. It's not super structured. I'm going to ask Matt to, I've asked Matt to share his personal story, which is, I haven't actually heard him tell it like start to stop in front of an audience. So it'll be the first time I'm hearing it, to be honest with you. But it's a super compelling story about him and his journey and how Convene actually came to be. We'll have a couple of other speakers there. They're going to talk about how they use Convene and how they've used Convene to kind of grow their tribe and how to connect and communicate, collaborate within their tribe. And then we actually have a follow-on on Saturday for people that are interested in how to actually leverage and use and get into the part of actually getting Convene up and running. Because like Matt said, you can get a free group up and running in a matter of minutes and be able to connect and do what you want to do with your group. And so I do want to ask you this, Matt, because this is the question that everybody always asks me. So, Convene, we know it's a web-based platform. We know it's a place where you can do so much stuff, whether that's share experiences, treat it as a complete learning management system. We can enter our course content, whether you're a YouTuber, a blogger, a podcaster, you're a coach like I am for cheer, and you want to have a safe space for your middle school cheer team to be able to go, or whether you're somebody like we have a CBD entrepreneur who was getting her posts on Facebook were getting censored and she was getting shut down, and you need a safe space to be able to do your business where your content is yours and it's not getting reviewed, and you're not getting all these ads skewed at your audience and stuff. But other than that, that I sort of gave away a little bit of the answer to. Can you talk to the audience and talk to my friends that might be interested in coming to learn more about Convene? What is the difference between Convene and another typical like social media platform where people are coming together to connect and communicate?
Yeah, so absolutely. So here's what we've tried to do. First, we've tried to take the goodness from everywhere. Nobody will take the place of Facebook. Nobody will take the place of YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these different places. They're too big. They're too huge, right? So what we've tried to do is take some of the goodness from everywhere and combine it into a one-stop shop, right? So in the grouping features, for example, you can put out group announcements, you can have discussion boards, you can put your experiences in there, syllabi in there, all the different things. You can manage your cheerleading team through that group, or you can manage content through that group. So we've tried to just make it a one-stop place. Now, one of the things that makes it different, you already talked about that, is the anonymity piece of it, the piece to go in there and collaborate. And not be like in a group. Facebook groups get a little bit out of control, right? And they can be a little bit overwhelming. Well, you control everything that goes on within your group. It's your group, right? That's not to say stop using Facebook. That's not to say stop using YouTube, because we want you to bring YouTube videos in, bring your blogs in. See, I'd like to think that Convene is a complete blogging system. Some people can't afford to go out and have their own blogging website. Well, you could do it all right within Convene. You could blog right there. So one of the things that we've done is now we have share links. Well, where do you want to share your stuff out to? Well, if you have it, you share it out to Facebook, you share it out to LinkedIn, you share it to different places. LinkedIn is a great place for your profiles and to share your profiles. So I think one of the best things about Convene is how we have our profiles and what we've built, and we're constantly making them better. So those are some of the things that make us a little bit like the others, but we're not like the others. There's more control. You have more control and you own the content. Convene will never own your content. It's your content. We're not going to run algorithms that say, hey, we're going to let 10 to 15% of your people see your content. Guess what? In your group, if you post something, 100% of your people will see your content, right? All of those different things that some of the other platforms do, we'll never get into that. Right? We are a platform. We are a resource for you if you're a business owner or whatever. We are a resource. That's really what we are. And then the other thing is it is a learning management system, right? So if you do choose to get into sell your content or to teach people or to be a YouTuber and you want to continue the conversation, one of the things that happens in YouTube, for example, is you can put your video out there and people can put comments. Sometimes those comments get ugly, right? Well, you could say at the end, hey, bring your content over to Convene, and it's in a more controlled environment. Or here's the big deal. YouTube's getting demonetized, right? It's becoming harder and harder and harder for YouTubers to make money. Well, what if you said, okay, hey, follow me on Convene and become a member of my premier group, and you're going to get access to premier content, right? So it's just another way for you to monetize yourself. And you can say that for podcasters, you can say that for bloggers, all those different things. So we've tried to build it to where you can do a lot of different things. Here's another thing, one more thing. If you're a content seller, right? A lot of these other platforms, Kajabi, LearnDash, all those different types of things, they limit how much content you can put in. It's going to cost you this much money for this much content. No, $29.99, you can put unlimited content. You can just go to your little heart's content and just sell course after course after course after course. So we've tried to just make it so there's so much flexibility, but we understand that people are going to use it in whatever way they decide to use it, right? Like I said, there's a great nonprofit. They use it just to manage their nonprofit, right? And they do ministry to prisoners, right? And so that's how they train all of their people who go into the prisons. So there's no limit to how you can use it. Hopefully that answered your question, but we will never take your content. You own your content, but you can bring in, from other resources that are there.
I think that's pretty cool. I love the integration that you have that you built into Convene with all of the different social media where you can just share out and collect in from. So I think that's really cool. And you guys on Friday, it's going to be so interesting. Some of the cool people that you're going to get to meet. Eugene, who Matt is picking up and bringing with him, who's his right-hand man in his Convene business, is actually, and I don't know the stat, Matt, so you're going to have to say it, but isn't he like one of his revenue streams is like he's like a top Lyft driver or top Uber driver, and he sells training content on how to do it?
Yep. So he's one of the top Uber drivers in Uber. So the man is a hustler. He works so hard. And actually, it's an interesting story. How I met him is he was a Uber driver for one of my friends and thought that Eugene was such a great guy. My friend is from Alabama. He's like, you got to meet this guy. He's really awesome. So my friend Robert from Alabama introduced me to Eugene, and we've been best friends since. But he has a course in there of how to be an Uber driver, how rideshare, how to be effective. But he's a hustler and he works hard. But he's just a great guy. And you'll all get to meet him. He's the voice of Convene because he has such
awesome.
If you listen to our video on convenecommunities.com on the front, he does the voiceover and all that just because he's the voice of Convene. So it's really awesome. We have a great team. People have really put their hearts into this. Todd Bray, I wish he could be there. Todd is our programmer, but the funny thing is he's one of the, we had this joke that one day when this, it's really huge, is that we're gonna be up on a stage somewhere and people are gonna be like, there's no way that those rednecks and misfits and all that were able to build this, because it's just such a wonderful group of people. And I think that's awesome. But Todd is great. Hopefully Cindy, who's the lead programmer, will be there. She's been a little under the weather this week. Melinda, who does all our website stuff, she's in Tampa. She won't be able to be there, but just wonderful, wonderful group of people. You've come on and really gave us a lot of great business strategy. And that's one of the things, I'm a people person. I'm out there and I like to talk to people and help people, so the business strategy piece was so important that to help us take it to the next level. And that's why we're coming down to Jacksonville. This is the first of many, and Carrie, who's coming down from Michigan, I can't say enough. She's really, poured into a lot of the flows, and she'll talk about that during the event. My son Braden. So I could go on, but there's a lot of people who put a lot of time and effort into this, and it's just wonderful. So I appreciate you guys being the kickoff down there in Jacksonville, Florida, and having us down to really.
Well, the good news is that it's already Thursday, so I gotta get through my basketball games and kick some butt over at Landon with my cheerleaders. But tomorrow's the big day, you guys. Like I said, I'll put the comments in the notes. Friday, January 31st, 6 o'clock at night at Lion Share, which is on Beach Boulevard by San Pablo. I already know that Patty Moeller's coming to speak. April Caldwell, of course, will be there. We're going to have our fabulous Dophie, as always, Ardra Jones. I just talked to Lindsay Amaral last night at Trailblazers and from the Admiral's Daughters, and she's going to be there, and saw a bunch of other, fantastic tribe members. And so I expect to have a full house there at Lion Share, and we'll have Jasmine's going to provide us Blue Sage Cuisine, yummies, and of course there'll be some mommy juice and other beverages for you to enjoy, because I'm going to be there, so there will be. Yeah. Matt, anything you want to add before we end this and get it up and get it posted for everybody?
If anything, just be there. I promise if you don't take anything away from it, you will be entertained. You might even shed a tear or two during my talk, but it'll be well worth it. So it'll be a good time. So nothing else comes from it. You're going to have a good time. And I'll bring the ring. You can see the ring.
And you'll bring the ring. So if it's nothing else, you'll get to see the ring.
That's right. So thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you and your tribe tomorrow, and letting y'all meet Eugene.
Excellent. We'll see you soon, Eugene.
Bye.